All right. Hi, everybody. This is Dave Kwan speaking. I'm the senior partner of OneHub Business Development Center. We are very excited to have you online today, this morning. As a matter of fact, you can see my background is my hotel room in Hong Kong. So it's very coincidental that I have some family emergency I have to deal with. So I'm right now in Hong Kong. And good morning to Canada. We are very excited to have Elizabeth Long with us and Eddie Lee, the CEO of OneHub, with us as well. So just so that I have my pleasure to introduce Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a leading immigration lawyer in Canada. She is active advocate of immigrant and refugees' rights in Canada and frequently presents and advises on immigration issues to universities, colleges, members of parliament, unions, and the media. Elizabeth holds a Juris Doctor law degree from the University of Toronto and also a Master of Law degree from Osgoode Hall Law School, York University. Elizabeth has been certified by the Law Society of Ontario as a specialist in citizenship and immigration law, a very prestigious list of which only approximately 50 lawyers in all Canada belong. And Elizabeth is a close friend to OneHub Business Center as well. So it's my pleasure to introduce you, Elizabeth. You can have the center stage.
Well, thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Dave. And welcome, everyone. The reason why we wanted to have a webinar today is because there have been some recent developments, especially for Hong Kong passport holders in the field of immigration law. And the reason why we wanted to partner with OneHub in presenting this to you is because immigration is just the first step. Once you come to Canada, you get the work permit. We're going to talk about how to do that. You still need to know how to find a job, how to settle in Canada and be in Canada successfully. So that's what we're going to be doing today. First, we're going to be talking about immigration. And secondly, you're going to be talking about what comes after immigration. All right, so this presentation is specially geared for you who are Hong Kong passport holders from Hong Kong. We're talking about the BSO or the SAR, HK SAR passport holders. Recently, the government has announced a very exciting work permit for Hong Kong passport holders. Normally, in order to qualify for a work permit in Canada, you have to qualify under specific categories, or you have to qualify under you have to obtain a labor market impact assessment where an employer in Canada has to show they can't find a Canadian to do that. This is very exciting because it is an open work permit. It's a work permit that you can get just because you are a Hong Kong passport holder. And it's based on a few things. So first of all, you have to qualify, you have to have obtained a post-secondary degree or diploma obtained in Canada or elsewhere within the last 5 years. Okay, so it's not just in Canada. You could have obtained it in Hong Kong. You could have obtained it in another country. We're looking at bachelor's, master's, or PhD degrees, or at least a 2-year college program. And the work permit is good for 3 years. So you're gonna open work. You can work anywhere you like for 3 years. You can bring your spouse, and your spouse can obtain an open work permit as well. And your children can, go to school. If they're minor children, they can go to public school without paying any international student fees. And also, your family will be able to access the government healthcare as well. Okay. Now, you do have to know that currently we do have some very strict border restrictions because of COVID. And so Canada is restricting the entry to Canada for some specific, unless you can come for some specific reason. So if you are a work permit holder, unless you are living in Canada right now, you can be in Canada, of course. But if you're outside of the country, you may be required to have a job offer before you can come into Canada at this present time. Hopefully the borders will be open soon. Hopefully all of this craziness will be over. And when it goes back to business as usual, then you can certainly come with your open work permit without a job offer. Now, the government has also announced that they will be having some more programs for permanent residents for Hong Kong passport holders. They've announced this, but the exact details are not out yet. We can have a follow-up talk when these details are out. And I will also be signing you guys up for our newsletter where we put out immigration news as well. A lot of you probably are already on there. It's not a place for us to advertise. It's just a way for us to get news to you guys. Okay, and when programs like this come out, we will be sending out news on that. Okay, so here are some of the things that they have said. Okay, one of the pathways is for people who have worked in Canada for 1 year as a Hong Kong passport holder. This is really good because, you know, in Canada right now, in order to immigrate, you have to go through the express entry system. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. But a lot of people, if you're just trying to apply under the as a skilled worker, etc., your points in comparison with other people may not be enough. But with this, you have those people, you can get an open work permit, work in Canada for 1 year, and then you can go straight to applying for permanent residence. What we don't know is if there are going to be any minimum language results. We don't know if there are any education requirements, if the work needs to be high skilled work. For the most part, traditionally Canadian immigration programs have valued what's called high skilled work. So it's a classification where there's 5 different classification codes called the NOC codes, NOC. And it's O, A, and B are high skilled, and C and D are low skilled. We don't know if this is going to be one of the criteria. I suspect that it might be. Okay, so when the details for this come out, then we will let you know for sure. Also, what we don't know if self-employed work will be included. For the most part, normally the government has not allowed people who have self-employed work in Canada to qualify for permanent residence under another category called Canadian Experience Class, which I suspect that this might be modeled under. That's only my own personal suspicions. I have no data to or announcements to back that up. So we will let you know as well. Then they also have a pathway for people who have studied in Canada as well in a post-secondary institution. Not sure what exactly the details for this will be, but it does encourage, you know, Canada, like many other countries, we're always trying to attract bright young people to come to our country to study in Canada. So this might be another way to attract you guys to come to Canada to study. One of the things we don't know about this is, does it require someone to study in a public college or university? Right now, for the most part, you know, if someone is going to be studying in a public college or university, they can get access to a post-graduation work permit, which is an open work permit for students, not for a private college or university. So we're not sure if under this permanent residence provision, whether this will be a factor. And we don't know how many years for the program. Will it be 1 year? Will it be 2 years? This remains to be seen. So I wanted to also talk to you about other ways to get permanent residence, because some of you may not have worked or studied in Canada and you still want to apply for permanent residence. The first one I wanted to speak with you guys about is called Express Entry. Many of you may have already heard about Express Entry. It's one of the most popular ways for people to apply for permanent residence. And so let me briefly go through it. So how Express Entry works is first, you have to create an online profile. And you create an online profile by qualifying under 3 different categories: the skilled worker class, Canadian experience class, and the skilled trades class. Once you qualify, you can enter into the Express Entry pool. Now, just because you've entered into the Express Entry pool does not mean that you have actually applied, okay? When you enter into the Express Entry pool, you are only a candidate and you will get a series of points assigned to you under the CRS system. These points are based on your background and whether you have provincial nomination. Now, once you have a series of points, every 2 weeks or so, the government announces a draw where they announce a number. And they now also announce a category, okay, oftentimes. So if you belong to the right category under Federal Skilled Worker Class, Canadian Experience Class, or Federal Skilled Trades Class, and your number is above the draw number, then you're lucky enough to get an invitation to apply and you can actually submit your application. Okay, so the whole thing is not just to get into the pool, it's to see if you can get out of the pool as well. So let's first talk about how to enter the pool. The first one that that most people would apply under if you are outside of Canada is under the Federal Skilled Worker Class. So to qualify for this, you need to have 1 year of high-skilled, full-time work experience in one occupation for at least 1 year. This is the most basic part of the work experience. This work experience does not have to be in Canada. It can be outside of Canada. It could be self-employed work. Okay. Then you have to pass the language scores. To pass and to get into the pool, you're looking at IELTS levels of 6 in each category. But really, to just get into the pool may not be enough, right? You may need more to get out of the pool. Likely will need more. And then they look at other things like your education background, your age, family in Canada, etc. You have to have financial savings. We're looking at around 13,000 Canadian dollars for one person. For more family members, you're adding a few thousand for each family member. And there's a Federal Skilled Worker score of 67 that you have to pass. Okay, that's just to get into the pool. Many of you may already be able to get into the pool. The second one is called the Canadian Experience Class. And this one is for people who have Canadian work experience that is at least 1 year in the past 3 years, high skilled, and full-time, at least 30 hours a week, although you can add up your hours, together. And it has to be work experience that you gained when you are not a full-time student, and you have to be employed. Self-employment work does not count for this. You also have to pass the language level, and you can get in, okay? Now, what has been really exciting in the last weekend is that the government has basically invited, for the first time ever, they invited everyone under the Canadian Experience Class to apply. So before COVID, and it may be the new minister who was appointed shortly before COVID started, where they now try to encourage international students and workers in Canada to be able to immigrate. Before COVID, the government would announce things where everybody in the pool, looking at the numbers for everybody in the pool. So it didn't matter if you're under the Canadian Experience Class or under Federal Skilled Class. You just are all grouped into one group. Recently, though, the government has really concentrated on only inviting people under the Canadian experience class to apply. And the numbers for Canadian experience class had been slowly dropping. Before it was more 470s overall, but it had been slowly dropping to 450s, 40s, and then we had a huge draw, unprecedented draw the last weekend, where everybody who qualified, the lowest score was 75 compared to normally it was in 470s. This was 75. So almost everybody got their invitation to apply. And what we suspect is that in the future, because almost everybody in the pool was out, the numbers, because they normally draw with regard to how many people are in the pool, the numbers for Canadian experience class may be quite low for the next little while. And now we are encouraging everybody who actually qualifies under a Canadian experience class to get into express entry. There's another class called the skilled trades. This may not pertain to most of you. It's more for the construction workers and people who have LMIAs or provincial certification. So like I said, we have people who are in the pool. This is just a example, right? We have 4 people in the pool and they all have different points. So if the government draw was 450, for example, who's going to get through? Well, you say, well, Wei is going to get through, right? But what if Wei only qualified under the federal skilled worker class? Will he get through? If the government announces everybody, then Wei will get through. But if the government announces, like recently it's just announced people who qualified under the Canadian experience class, if Wei qualifies under the federal skilled worker class only and not under Canadian experience class, then he will not get out. Okay, so point of the matter is, it is very important now to have work experience in Canada, whether you're going through the express entry stream or perhaps there's the Hong Kong stream that they're going to announce. Work experience is very important. That's why we're partnering with OneHub, because they're going to be telling you some tips about how to find work in Canada. Okay. Just wanted to briefly go through the comprehensive ranking system. What gives you the specific points that you need to get out of the pool in express entry? So the first thing is age. After you become 30, every year is not a happy birthday anymore, because every year it will go down 5 or 6 points. By the time you get to your 40s, it's a fast slide, -10, -11. The good news when you get to your 45th birthday is that it doesn't go down anymore. The bad news is that it is a zero compared to 110 points that someone in their 20s can get is a huge disadvantage if you are a little bit older. Education is something that is very important. Normally, if you don't have work experience in Canada, you're looking at least 2 degrees, with one being a 3-year program or more and the other addition on top. Language is very important. If you don't have work experience in Canada, we're looking at IELTS scores of 7s in reading, writing, and speaking, and 8 in listening in order to have a chance at all. Relevant Canadian work experience, like I said, is very important. This is the work experience that you get under the Canadian experience class, except you can use up to 10 years of it, and that will give you significant points for express entry. Foreign work experience, you can also get up to 50 points as well if you have at least 3 years of work experience. It is also calculated according to your language abilities as well. Your spouse, if you're married, and their education and language points, and if they have some Canadian work experience, they may add a little bit to yours. Otherwise, they may take away a little bit than a single person's. provincial nominee programs, these are programs that are express entry linked. Most of the provincial nominee programs, they may, some provinces, they might emphasize specific occupations. For example, in Ontario, they emphasize people in the tech fields, but you still have to have a certain points score. These are not all provincial nominee programs. Provincial nominee programs are programs where the provinces get to choose who they want to get permanent residence. And it's not all provincial nominee programs that will give you points, but if they are express entry linked points and you can get an approval for that, you will get 600 more points for this. Previous study in Canada, you will also get some points for that. Arranged employment. Now, we're going to be talking a little bit about this because this is something where we have people who are here as entrepreneurs who can get a lot of points. If you are an executive manager of your company, you can get 200 points for express entry. If you are another sort of high-skilled but not executive level worker, then you can get 50 points. If you have an employer-specific work permit or LMIA. So open work permits do not count for this, but we're going to talk a little bit more about how to get the employer-specific work permits. Siblings, if your siblings who are Canadian permanent residents, you get a few points there. The ability to communicate in French you can get a lot of points in there. And trade certification, which is more of the construction trades. All right, so, some of you, if you look at the express entry system, may think, okay, it's not so bad. I'm young, my English is excellent, I have 2 degrees, and I have work experience, high-skilled work experience. This might be a good program for me. But if you are not, and you don't have enough points, then we can look at other things. Many of you may already be entrepreneurs, or you may have business and have businesses. And so I just wanted to quickly go over some possible avenues for people such as yourself. So the first one I wanted to talk to you guys about is the startup visa. The startup visa is an application that is very much outside of the express entry. It has nothing to do with express entry. What the startup visa is it encourages entrepreneurs who are going to come to Canada and set up a business in Canada. So you can have up to 5 people, each from their own. They can immigrate with their families to Canada under each group, okay? And so each person who is applying, they have to have an active management. It's not a passive management where they're just going to invest money and forget about it. They have to actively show that they will be actively managing the company, and they have to have at least 10% each person, with everybody included having a majority share of the company. You don't have to have up to 5. You can just have 1 person do it, okay? But whoever is doing it, the people who are applying together, they have to own the majority shares. You can have angel investors who together the shares all own at least 51%. So it's not something where a Canadian company can say, hey, just invest 10% in me and in our company and we'll let you in. It's a new company that the people who are applying to Canada has to own. Okay, and it's the ownership of the Canadian business, not the ownership of the overseas business. Very, very important, you have to receive the support of one of the designated organizations. It's either acceptance into an incubator, investment of $75,000 by an angel investor group, or $200,000 by a VC group. So, one of the things, a couple of things I'd like to say about this. The first thing is, it's not all businesses that will be accepted. Your business has to be a innovative business for these organizations to take an interest in you. The business should also be a well-run business that, you know, you're taking technology to come to Canada. The strict letter of the rules say that you can open up a brand new business, and you would be opening up a brand new business in Canada. But the basis of the business has to be well thought out, and it has to, the companies that I work with, it has to be more beyond the ideas stage. It should be something that you have either run for a few years and you have capital overseas, or even if you haven't run it for many years, but you have a beta version and it's exciting, it will stir up the market. It will be something that you can show will be successful in Canada, okay? And then in order to qualify, you do have to pass the IELTS, but it's a much, much lower IELTS level than, you know, express entry, for example, okay? So if you are interested in this, if you are entrepreneurial, do let us know, and we can certainly talk to you about possibilities of coming under this stream. The other thing that I like to do with people who already have businesses overseas is, if you are interested in starting a subsidiary company in Canada or a related company in Canada, we can transfer you to come to Canada. And this is a work permit that we can get under the intra-company transferee category. Okay, the SUV is a permanent resident application. You're applying directly for permanent residence. You can also get a work permit on the side to work in Canada while waiting for permanent residence, but it is a permanent resident application. This category is a work permit only, okay? So first we get you the work permit, and you, if you open up a subsidiary company in Canada, and we can transfer not only yourself, we can transfer other workers from your company as well, senior managers, specialized knowledge workers, executive managers. Now, and the total length of time for the work permits, the first one may only be issued for 1 year if it is a startup company, but then the afterwards, you know, they may issue it for, they usually issue it for 3 years. And there is a limit to how long all of the work permits can be for each person. So for senior managers or executive managers, it can be up to 7 years. Specialized knowledge workers, up to 5 years. How does this translate to permanent residence is that if you are an executive manager, you've worked in the company for 1 year in Canada, then you will get 200 points for express entry. So if you qualify for express entry, and you know the other points connected to this, you get 200 more points, then your chances for getting permanent residence is very good. Okay. For other workers, you get 50 points for other workers as specialized knowledge workers or senior managers as well. Okay. So this is in and of itself is not permanent residence, but it can translate to permanent residence in the end. There is also a owner operator LMIA. This category may be closed soon, but it's still in operation right now. And this is where if you're going to own a company in Canada, and it's at least 51% in Canada personally. The other one was the company itself is doing it. This one is personal. And you can demonstrate that your work will result in job creations and that you can get enough revenue to pay for the salaries of the Canadians and yourself and other employees in Canada, and that your company is actively engaged, that it will be, that it currently is a company that is doing business in Canada. We can get you what's called an LMIA, where you can get a work permit based on it, but you can get 200 points as an executive manager or 50 points as other workers right away for express entry. All right, so That's it right now for me. I've included some of the information if you wanted to contact us about your own special case. Let us know if you wanted to have a consultation session to go over your case, and let us know that you've attended the seminar, and we will also give you a seminar discount as well. Okay. All right. Do we have any questions? By the way, guys, you can always post your questions on the Q&A, and we can talk a little bit about this right now.
There's one question on the Q&A right now.
Okay, great. Let's take a look here. So someone is asking, they're a CEC applicant from Hong Kong. 3-year work permit is going to expire soon. And should they do the bridging open work permit or the Hong Kong work permit, extend the postgrad work permit? So that's a very good question. There, for the first time, you have a lot of options, right? And I don't know your particular circumstances, but you probably could qualify under all 3 of them. Sometimes you might want to see which one is longer. All of them are open work permits. The postgrad work permit is an open work permit. Extending right now, they're allowing you to extend it for 18 months if your work permit expires before November 27th of this year. This is just a COVID situation. Most of the time you cannot extend your postgrad work permit, but that's for 18 months compared to others, the bridging work permit or the Hong Kong, which is only for, well, the Hong Kong will be 3 years. You may not need it for 3 years, but the bridging work permit is for 1 year. So any of those could qualify. You're very lucky to have all these options. Any other questions?
There is one on the chat box.
Yeah.
We can do the immigration policy from Hong Kong to apply for open work permit still have to go through the express entry pool?
So the open work permit is, express entry is permanent residence. The open work permit is a separate one where you just get a work permit for Hong Kong. So that one is separate from express entry. However, if you work in Canada for 1 year, then you can go and apply through the express entry pool, and you can get your points for Canadian work experience. So the work permit is in and of itself, but you can go through the express entry pool, and you can and you can actually qualify for permanent residence that way. Or if there's a new program that opens for Hong Kong passport holders that's specific to Hong Kong passport holders, you may be able to apply for permanent residence that way, where you have 1 year of work experience in Canada, you can do that. So there's 2 different routes for Hong Kong passport holders. You guys are very lucky. Is there a chance? Yeah. Okay. We have another question. Is there a chance for people who don't have high education, just high school diploma, to get immigration to Canada? If you're looking at things like the express entry, likely no. However, the startup visa does not have a education requirement. You may be able to, if you have, the entrepreneurial background, and you may be able to apply under that category. The other thing is you may want to also look at studying in Canada and getting that education background, which will make a lot of doors open for you as well.
There are 2 more questions in the Q&A.
There's 2 more questions under the Q&A. Okay. When do you think the program for Hong Kong will, oh, that's a good question. I have no idea. Usually in immigration, it's a very fluid situation. When ministers change, sometimes they close programs. These programs no longer have to go through Parliament. So it's just on the whim of the minister. We may be having an election next year, or maybe this fall, who knows, right? And so when if the conservatives come in, they may be changing these policies. We don't know. What my advice with immigration is to be qualified, apply, because you never know when you may not be able to qualify anymore. The other question is, I graduated with a master's in degree in, right. So if it's over the 9 years, you're not eligible for the new open work permit for passport holders. But you might want to think about doing another program in Canada or elsewhere, and then, you know, qualify under that as well. Or there may be other avenues for you. Okay, so
there is one last question in the Q&A.
Finally, one more, and then we're going to move on to OneHub's exciting one. The different present, please. A person with work permit residing in Hong Kong is a skilled worker. What are options, if any, to apply to Canada? So this one, you're not a Hong Kong passport holder. You're a work permit. Come to me. We can talk about express entry. Still does apply to you. There are provincial nominee programs as well for skilled workers, but you mostly would need to come to Canada to do that. Okay. If you apply for the Hong Kong open work permit now, it would be fine. If you don't move to Canada until mid-year, absolutely. You probably won't be able to move to Canada until mid-year if you don't have a job offer anyway. All right, guys, that's it for my presentation. And I'd love to introduce you to Eddie Lee and Dave Kwan at OneHub. OneHub is an amazing organization that I refer a lot of my clients to. You know, entrepreneurs who are coming to Canada, businesses who are coming to Canada. It's not just immigration you need. Immigration is just one tiny step of the whole journey in Canada. Also for, you know, workers who are coming to Canada, you need a lot of support that an immigration lawyer like me can't provide you. And this is where Dave Kwan, they do a lot of training. He's specialized in training as a trainer, and Eddie Lee with the businesses. They're amazing. And take it away, guys.
Why we have why we can do it in OneHub. Actually, over there, in OneHub, we have our own facilities. We have 5,000 square feet over here. We have our team. We're doing very professional. We have a Canadian experts over here. Of course, we have an immigration lawyer, Elizabeth, to support our business. And most likely, most importantly, we speak the own language. We speak your Cantonese. We are from Hong Kong, or the Guangdong. We also speak Mandarin. And we have the whole team to doing the management for you. So all the back office supports, we helping you. You come to set up the company over here, and then we can the whole team will support your business as well. So a little background about OneHub. So when we talk about challenges of moving to Canada, so actually we can talk about two parts, of course. One is the personal family related one. We talk about you will come across with the language barrier, the culture, the finances, and finding the right houses, schooling, transportation. The driving, of course, in Hong Kong, we are in the different side in Canada, so we're driving on the different side. So you have to learn again. You need to pass the driving test, and health system, social integration, and taxation. A lot of people talk about, is it very expensive in Canada compared with Hong Kong? I'll give you a little information, talk about there's a called Lumbio. Okay, so you can go there and check it, what is the cost of living as well. On my side, I'm not talking about too much on the family and related challenges. We are referring to the job-related challenges. So when you come across in Canada, okay, you will face in a lot of barriers. You will start again with the communication barriers. How do you fit into the company and the industry, and the skills and qualifications, and looking for a job? And of course, is the first barrier you were facing is the interview. So how you're facing the interview to passing, to let the people pay attention to you. And the other one, of course, you have to find the right career path Of course, when you're arriving to Canada, you cannot find your dream job, but maybe 1 or 2 years later, you will get the right job after that. And also, another important area is you have to build in the network, because if you don't have the network, you are alone, and no one will pay attention to you. You have to start with building the network. So before we talk about how you get into jobs, this graph gives you an idea what is the recruiters actively working right now. So I give you 2 examples about 2 major recruiters in Canada that look at their recruitment activities. So in the past, they are very good, but of course, after the pandemic, they are very slowly, and they don't recruit too much. But look at in January, so they started to active again. So that's why the market are opening right now, and people feeling that 2021 will be the right directions. And the first bar actually is February as of today. So you can see that only before 15 days, there's already half of the January. So that means that in February, also the activities will be increasing. So if you're on the right-hand side, you can find that who are they looking for? They are looking for the operational, the engineering, and the sales and accounting. So these are the key of the major, vacancies or positions they are looking for right now. The other slide I would like to share with you is what happened to before the pandemic and after the pandemic right now in the middle of the situations. So a lot of people losing quite a lot of jobs and over there. But on the right-hand side, if you talk about landing in Canada, so where is the unemployment job comes out with, which the major city are hit too much. So of course, there will be Toronto. Toronto, unfortunately, we talk about 10.7 unemployment rate. So I don't know how many people pay attention in Hong Kong. Hong Kong unemployment rate is around 6.6%. And UK is 5%. 5% is very low. Why? Because they opened the market. They never closing down the market too much. And but on the other side, the problem will be the increasing. There's a lot of pandemic cases comes out, and that's why UK is 5%. And actually, in fact, London is 6.9%. Okay, so give you an idea how bad will be in Toronto is at 10.7%. And if you want to go to some area to Quebec, the unemployment rate is 4.1. But in Quebec, most likely you have to speak French over there. Another side, okay, there's an interesting website I would like to share with you. If you go into the Canadian government website, we can find all these open jobs over there. So pay attention to see what is the open job, where is the open job, and what is the market value, what is the salaries over there. Yesterday, I do a little quick search about people asking me, so what is the Ontario job market right now? What is the hot jobs? I'll give you an idea. In one of the websites from Indeed, which is the most important, most powerful website, the healthcare opening job is the highest. Right now, we have over 1,000 jobs available. The other job is the customer supports, which we also have 1,300. And another job is IT development, and this position is 982. And the other one is the administration, which is around 900. And then the repair and supply chain is 500. And then the repair and maintenance, like the construction, is around 400. So these are the current hot jobs available in the market. I just give you an example. Recently, one of my clients, I helped one of my clients to set up an employment, trying to hire some 60 staff in manufacturing. In one day, we received 400 applicants in one day. And this is how the market is looking for. We are hiring, but in the market, the supply is way up high at this moment. So I will highly recommend that, okay, how we're doing the job search, okay? So in the job search, we talk about there are several ways you can connect with the employer. One is you based on your friends, and then you connect to the employers. The other one, you go into the job website like Indeed. And other one, you go into the agent like Robert Half, and maybe you know someone in the insider in the company, so then you go direct. And look at that area. The most important part is you can using the social media, the LinkedIn, to connect all this together, because all the insider, the agent and reps and the employer finally will look at the link in LinkedIn. Why I mentioned LinkedIn over there, because I know that most of the Hong Kongese are not familiar with LinkedIn and not active in LinkedIn. In the Western world, in the North America, or they are widely using the LinkedIn over there. So I would highly recommend that you started to build your LinkedIn again. And over there, why we thinking about LinkedIn is so important is because through the LinkedIn, you can showcase your qualifications and make sure that your qualifications are in line with your CV as well, and don't tell lies. And at the same time, through LinkedIn, you can find the right people that you want to connect it. And give you an example, if I want to find a job in Canada Goose and know that Canada Goose is hiring, so I can link up with Canada Goose HR or the supervisor, and then over there, I can talk to them. So this is way faster and easier to just submit your CV or application through them, and you will become one of the 400s or 1,000 in the applicants that nobody will discover you. So the LinkedIn is one of the very powerful, platform for the people to finding jobs. I will very welcome that you can link. You may connect me, and then you share with I will share with you the network, and you can start with your LinkedIn and building your Canadian network. So, and I have your information already through these registrations. So what I would like to share with you through email in the coming days is in OneHub we prepare a job search platforms information. So over there you can see all the important Canadian active job search platform. So you can make use to. And the other side, you can also find that, okay, what are the headhunter or the recruiters listing in different industries. So unfortunately, of course, the headhunter right now or the recruiters are also suffering because of the pandemic. But no matter how, there is another choice that we can connect with the recruiters to submit the CV and application, so that you can try another job search perspective, and then you can find the job on a different way. So this information I will share with you through the emails if you register. If not, you can also go to our website and register as well, and then we can get this information afterwards. Okay.
I just wanted to jump in, Eddie, and
Yeah.
have a word about these recruiters. in the immigration field, there is a great deal of fraud, and there's a lot of people who try to get money from, people and through fraud. The recruiters that Eddie is talking about are real recruiters who are there to find real jobs for you guys. There are a lot of people out there who said, "Give me money, and I will get you a job offer." Those likely are not going to be real recruiters. Those are likely going to be fraud. Okay, the people who are recruiters in Canada, they are not allowed to charge people who are finding a job money. They charge the employers money for finding workers for them. If you do not have a work permit in Canada, likely, unless you're extremely specialized in something, and the companies in Canada, there are only a few people in this world who have this, and they're okay to recruit outside of Canada, likely you're not going to be able to just find a job in Canada. That's why the open work permit for Hong Kong passport holders is so good. It's because if you can get that work permit, then you can go to recruiters, you can go and find work, and when an employer asks you, "Can you start working?" you can say, "Yes, I have the ability to start working." Okay, sorry, just wanted to clarify a little bit about recruiters.
This is a really very important area that Elizabeth highlighted. Actually, on the other side, don't think about that. So in the market, there's also a lot of fraud talk about immigration advisors. So then in Canada, we are talking about the certified immigration advisor, and there's a lot of non-certified one. Of course, we will highly recommend the lawyer like Elizabeth, who knows about the market as well. Because just say, for example, if you're stuck in the airport, I just say, okay, you have a problem, who can help you? It's only the immigration lawyer can step in to help you. The immigration advisor are not allowed to add on that area. So that's why when you pick advisor or immigration in a consultant, make sure that they are qualified. There's a lot in the market that the so-called consultant, actually they are not qualified. Just be careful about this as well. Okay, thank you. And so I would like to go through one more step. This is our area. You can see this is my background, my team. So this is OneHub. We are where we help here to help you going through the difficult situation and the challenges. So I don't want to spend too much time on this again. So I will leave it for Dave first, and then we have some Q&A afterwards. So what do you think, Dave?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Eddie. There's a question that on the chat box about what kind of services OneHub provide. We are very happy to provide you with what beyond the settlement services. There are many services about settlement services, about getting your driver's license, getting your health card, your SIN number, maybe finding a school for your children. We offer things beyond that. We help you to develop your career, ignite your education profile, and finding a job. Make sure you have all the professional skill set behind you to back you up to make sure you will be successful in Canada. So let me share with you a few job finding tips in the next 5-6 minutes. Finding a job in Canada is not difficult if you have the right skill set. The first thing is about your resume. Your resume is like your business card. The traditional way of doing a resume is not there anymore. In Canada, many HR people look at the resume, they prefer 2-page. But as a matter of fact, they look at half a page. because when they open up a PDF file or open up a Word document, they look at the half page. That's your real estate. How do you summarize yourself and present yourself in that half page? We encourage people to be creative. I will show you an example a little bit later on of a creative resume. We can help you to design it. We can help you to write it. We can help you to make sure you present yourself the best. The second thing is rapport. Now, if you speak Chinese or Cantonese, we don't have this word in Cantonese. Rapport is not relationship. In a job interview, rapport is everything. It's the instant connection, how you connect with the interviewer, and rapport is defined as that instant connection. It's not relationship. It's how you connect people, how you identify people personality in 5 minutes, how you connect with the language, body language, tonality in that very, very short time to build that rapport, to make you to connect with that person in that interview programs. So we can teach you that. I have taught many seminars in my last 12 years in helping people to develop rapport, connecting with people, and be successful in an interview situation. The third thing is your value. Your value is how you fit into the organization. Value is everything in an interview. It's not what you have done. It's what you have learned throughout your life to create that value for that organization. The value is actually very specific, and we can help you to develop your value story, to tell your story in an emotional manner that you can engage the interviewer to add value to that organization. The last thing is personal business card. Personal business card is how you carry yourself. It's how you write your resume, how you do your telephone, how you do your Zoom meeting, how you tell your story, and also how you do a video resume. We would include a service that helping you to do a video resume. And many organizations, they look at the paper resume, of course, but if you have a profile of a video resume, how you talk about yourself, that will be your personal business card to engage your potential employer. Now, this is an example of two resumes. On the right, that's a creative one with the black and white and, you know, the section off. On the left is more traditional. So that on the right, you draw more attention to that, of course. And we will help you to create your resume in the most attractive way, in the most creative way, so you can actually profile yourself. People can look at you in a very different light. One more thing I'd like to talk a little bit about. These 6 words here. You do not have Canadian experience. That is the 6 most feared words for any immigrant looking for a job in Canada. I faced this 6 words about 30 years ago when I landed in Canada. Many people face that. And as a matter of fact, this is not 6 words that you cannot answer. We have developed a workshop about how perception is reality. This 6 words is only a perception. How you change your perception of your potential employer is to create value. How you reframe this assumption behind that. And in fact, Canada is a multicultural society. Having people from Hong Kong coming to Canada is adding value to that multicultural environment. So it's alignment with Canadian values, it's adding value to our environment. And also, we help you to answer with confidence so you can roll off your tongue when you hear these 6 words. It's not just something that you shut up and you feel that you're helpless. So we help you to build that confidence in that interview, to engage your potential employer, to engage those agency that you will become successful to ignite your career. So in short, we provide services beyond the settlement. It's not just the settlement. We help you to find a job. We help you to develop your professional skill set to engage your potential employer. These are our contact information in OneHub. We are located in Markham, Ontario. As Eddie says, we have 5,000 square feet of office space. And we have a sort of website here that you can visit. And we look forward to engage you again and in future webinars. And if you have friends and family that are on the same journey, thinking about coming to Canada, we will have another webinar shortly in a few weeks to ensure that we can provide you update and so on and so forth. So in short, is there any other question or things that
I have a question. When is your next training session for resume building and job hunting? Do you guys have something coming up soon?
Well, currently I'm in Hong Kong right now, so it's a little bit difficult for us to schedule that because of the time difference. And I'm coming back in March. It probably will be in April.
Okay.
And we will definitely let you know and let the group know that the next one. What's the timing of that?
And Eddie, I mean, we talked a lot about the individuals and how you guys help individuals, but I was wondering, could you speak a little bit more about how you guys help businesses as well? Because, you know, you're my go-to guy for if an entrepreneur comes in, I refer them to you for all things to do with their business and settling in Canada.
Yeah. Eddie, you can take that question.
Yeah. Thank you, Elizabeth. So actually, a lot of people actually is facing challenges when we arrive into Canada. And they expected the business will automatically be blooming. But in fact, reality is not the case because you need to connect with the community, to connect with your future clients. And actually, you also have to build your infrastructures. So that's why OneHub is standing here to do it all this immigration. I mean, what I call is the business immigrations. So we help you to set up the companies in Canada. We also can provide you the e-commerce platform. We can build you the e-commerce. We can have a logistics center over here. We can help you to ship in your items or products from our center. This is how it works because a lot of people were facing challenges after 1 year. The immigration officer will come in to take a look. Hey, what are you doing? Are you really real or really not active? So this is how we showcase your company, that make sure that your company is keep on running and increasing your revenue as well. So we have so many clients coming from not only from Hong Kong, also from China. We have clients from Italy because I'm from Italy. We also from North America, Latin America, Sri Lanka, and so that are all using our platforms because and also save a lot of cost as well because imagine that you're building a company, you make a lot, you need to spend so much money, invest so much money over there. But using our service will be much lesser than you think. Yeah.
It's worth it because, you know, if you're a new entrepreneur coming to Canada, you might be, you know, in your home country, you would be very well established. You have the connections, you know what the laws are, you know but in a new country, you do need someone like Eddie and OneHub to help you guys navigate the system legally and business-wise. And Eddie is a very good connector. They have a great team of professionals who can help you guys establish your business as well.
I can tell you one more thing. When you're asking people to help, ask them, do you have an office? I will tell you, there's a lot of, even there's a so-called virtual office in the world, okay? So that actually all the consultants work and meet you in the McDonald's. So we have the place, okay? We are real and we are established.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Yeah, I think one thing that I'd like to wrap up a little bit, and I like to point out that we are helping people to integrate into the mainstream. I think that is one of the things that we are focused on. We are not just only a settlement service that is government funded or privately funded. we go way and way and way beyond that to help you to integrate and help you to be successful, because we already know that journey. I'm an immigrant from Hong Kong. Eddie is an immigrant from Hong Kong, and Eddie as an entrepreneur as well. I've been in the corporate world, working over 30 years in Canada, numerous multinational companies. So really it's helping people who have coming behind us, and we want to help you to be as successful as we do, or even more successful. Elizabeth.
Wonderful. Okay, well, I think that's all the time we have. We're actually a little bit over time, but thank you all for joining us, and thank you for your questions. And we'll stay in touch with you and hope to see you guys in Canada soon. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.